Hey guys, how's it going? Another Monday here on the Sandbox. I'm your host Halfd0rk. You might not recognize me because of the lack of a beard, but just a new face, new me, new start. So today we are picking back up where we left off in the trading card game. A very advanced set of mechanics that I will continue to be building behind the scenes, but it's worth noting that we at Sandstorm would like to explore more tutorial and beginner-friendly concepts. So we're going to ease into that today, and I'm going to try my best to talk about topics and mechanics that are happening behind the scenes here. However, starting next week, we're looking to expand our kind of like beginner-friendly series of content. And so I would invite all of you, those of you tuning in either live here on SandStorm Meetup Twitch or on our YouTube page where you can catch these VOD, to add your questions. Or if you'd like to contact us, you can always tweet at us on the Sandstorm Twitter, the official, or on Discord. Feel free to jump into those chat rooms. We got a lot of game developers just, hanging out, building games. So feel free to drop your questions. They are all welcome and all wanted because we are looking to, be a better source of educational content here, especially in the Sandbox. And building games, it's not exactly easy. You kind of have to throw yourself at it, and we're going to be making more content to help you get thrown. So before we get into the game development part of the stream, I've got a couple announcements for you. First things first, we got a Sandbox contest. This is number 21. Hold the door. I got to make sure I get enough O's in there. Door. Hold the door. Theme, time for battle. Previously, we gathered the best blacksmiths of the clan to forge epic armors. Now it's time to use them in battle. You need to defend our fortress, warriors. To the sand hold. Objective, builders must create a scene from a fortress siege. So this contest is ongoing. You've got a couple days remaining. So deadline being December 25th at about midnight. So for us here in the States, we're looking at about 8 p.m.-ish. Ow. More like 7 p.m. December 25th. That's Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing the math for you. A couple other things. We are awarding, first through 10th place. Whoops, that was the wrong button. First through 10th place. First place getting 1,500 sand. Second place 1,000. Third place 800. Fourth place 700. Fifth place 500. And 6th through 10th 100 sand. So make sure you get your projects in on time. You're going to want to make a beautiful render for your portfolio. And people are going to be spotting this. They're going to be checking out, whatever you submit on the Sandstorm website. Next up, another contest, DCL number 9. New year, new me. So in these Decentraland contests, if you want to try your hand at Blender, making low poly content, a lot of has happened to you throughout 2022 and changed you into a completely different person. With the new year coming up, you start looking for ways to represent the new you to the world. So after much deliberation, you determine that an outfit is what you really need to make a statement. But which one? So your challenge is to develop wearable pieces that truly makes a statement. So you can either make 2 wearable pieces in a set or 1 skin wearable. This sounds fun. I might give this a try. No more than 1.5K triangles per wearable. No more than 500 triangles per accessory. And so that's like your faces, your polygons. No more than 2 textures at a resolution of 512 by 512 or lower. And if you choose a skin wearable, triangles allowed are 5K and 5 textures. So you get more wiggle room with a skin. And the prize pool here, very big, all sponsored by Decentraland, I believe, but 2,500 USDC. So that's cryptocurrency, but it's USD Bank. So 2,500 is nothing to scoff at. 1,250 for second place, third place 750, fourth place 350, and fifth place 150 USDC. Well worth it. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I know Slater Raid's here. and he'll be pooling any questions. Again, I just want to preface any questions you might have when it comes to GameMaker. We are looking for them. We want to make sure that we provide a very educational space. But for today, I'm going to be continuing to work in our card game, and we're going to demonstrate where we left off. So the last stream, I had made these kind of selector borders around our card. So when you select a card, so we can see here I have Heat Spray, Bug Bite, and Blaze Spikes. Each one is going to kind of activate like a series of events. So we're going to look at it behind the scenes. But when you pop in and start playing the game, so this is technically where the character is going to be stranded. You can see him in the middle of the screen here. So they can't go up, can't go down, but there are things to interact with. So we interact with the left card, Heat Spray here, and I can select it and deselect it. So it does appear that it got a little messed up, maybe. Not very accurate. Every time I click it, it's supposed to spawn that yellow border, but we can see here it, it was doing it every other click. And then same with this Bug Bite here. Essentially, when it's selected, it's supposed to be bouncing up and down, and then it also has that yellow border behind it. And then same here with Blaze Spikes, except with Blaze Spikes, we can see my Firefly has a new green border around it. So that's going to represent like, hey, this card affects this character. And so I'm still playing with the user interface, trying to find that balance. But for now, that's kind of what we're picking up from. So a couple things here. With the green, it needs to be removed when I go elsewhere, and we can see it did remove it. However, there was like an explosion effect. So you can see that explosion on top of my Firefly. I'm actually going to remove that, and I'll show you how. And then whenever I select Bug Bite or Heat Spray, I want there to be a red border on my Frost Toad over here. And then, hopefully, if we have enough time, if I stand over here on this side of the screen, the red border will instead go to Lychee, which is another enemy, a different enemy. And so we're going to try and set all of that up today. Yeah, Stefanu, you, Steven, welcome in. If you have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask. Anything out of topic is also welcome. It's nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to go ahead and get to work here. So we have our green border. So I see your question popped up. So Stefanu asks, do you know how to fix bug on childing the farmers in preset? So I'm assuming you're looking to have a farmer with a child component? Is that what you're trying to do? So you're trying to parent a farmer to something? So I'm unsure what you're asking. If you can rephrase it, maybe I can help you better. But I can't say I've ever tried something like that. For now, I'll set it to the side. Hopefully you'll be able to give me a little bit more context, because I'm a bit unsure of what you're talking about. Yo, what up, Kay? Oh, the farmer on child. Don't try it. It'll bug. I have experienced some bugs with this. If you, for example, tried to make the farmer gather the avatar, so basically the player character, it will break your game. It will crash, and you will cry. So I don't recommend that. But if you're working with a farmer, I would not use children. And that's what I'm guessing you're letting us know about. Instead, I would recommend using asset spawners to spawn these children. You know, they happen simultaneously. So let's say the farmer picks one up maybe like every 10 seconds, but you're spawning one every like 9 seconds, if that makes sense. Maybe that'll help you. Well, either way, thanks for bringing it to our attention. Okay, so we're going to be using this green border only when our spikes are selected. And it appears as though we've already, set that up. but I'm just going to skim through this real quick. So I think we set it up to where it'll work with whatever's in the third option. So it's not exactly what we want. We're going to keep looking here. So we have ally.1.green.glow. So that message is spawning our green glow test. So let's take a look at our green glow test. Okay, hope your chiropractor appointment went well. Welcome in. So we have our green glow test. I'm going to rename this one to green glow 1. And we can see here it has an animated decoration and a health component. So I'm actually going to change the animated decoration to a plant behavior. So what I'm doing is removing a behavior by replacing it with a plant behavior. And I can remove this health component by clicking this small X here. And then with the plant behavior, I'm going to change the message to whatever the message was associated with on the original. So if I need to take a look at the original, I can drag and drop another from my inventory. So I hit L on my keyboard to open up my inventory. And we can check out the logic using that edit logic button. And we can see it's destroyed specifically on a kill message. And it has the tag green glow. So we need to find where a kill message targeting our green glow is coming from. So over here, I have this message component. This does not look to be the solution. That doesn't look like the solution. That one doesn't look like the solution. Probably not it. So it's got to be one of these here. So we have a message sending it out, but where is the kill message coming from? Maybe it's one of these. I think these are what I've added recently. Yes, it is. So we have our kill command that whenever we interact with a different card in our hand, and we can see here, it's if I interact with whatever's in the first portion of my hand, and we also have one for the second portion. So this is going to be important to set up later. For example, I don't want this card to only be in the third portion of my hand. I want it to feel random to where it can spawn here or it can spawn here. So we need to kind of think about these things in advance. It's like, oh, if we're adding RNG and I'm interacting with a card, when will it be, when it is in, one hand and not the others, which we can actually set up with a green glow extra tag. So we're adding a new tag to the mix. So this is going to be greenglow.3. And so I'm going to be making 3 variations of this. We're going to have green.glow.3. And so we'll set up this first one and then worry about the others. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new preset here. This will be green glow. And I'll do it exactly as I had tagged it. So green.glow.3. And then underneath my card, this is the asset spawner, the version of it that will be spawning this preset that we made. I'll change the preset to green.glow.3. And so this one is exclusively going to spawn when ally.1.green.glow is being sent out, when that message is being sent out. And so when I touch the card, it's sending out this message, interact.hand.3. So now we got to find where the green glow message is coming out. Let's see if this works as is. So it does work as is. It appears as though perhaps one of these cards or one of these. Nope. We did see the kill command worked. I need to find where the spawn message is coming from now. Yikes. Yeah, anytime, Stefanu. Happy to help. Go West. What's up, dude? Welcome. Okay, so this is the message I'm currently looking for. I wish I had a better way to organize this. And in fact, this is what I'm going to do. When I find it, and I will find you, ally.1.green.glow, I'm actually going to name the asset that so I can find it faster. Oh, and I will find you. It's this one? Nope, that's blank. So this one is spawning a preset. Oh wow, it looks like I already started setting it up. This is what happens when you take like a week-long break between game jamming. We're sending out a message, interact.hand.3. That message is being received by a whole number of things. Ah, here we are. Interact.glow. Okay, that's for the highlight underneath. This one is to tell other cards to stop glowing. But I'm looking exclusively for the glow. That's not it. That's not it. Man, this is the least fun part of game dev is when you have to find something that's missing. Over here, is it? Could it be on the asset itself? No. So it interacts front. We're not destroying it yet. Turn 2. Not these. Well, I don't know where it is. That's going to be a problem. Because we're looking for this message exclusively. Message required ally.1.green.glow, which I should have put it over here next to this asset. Basically, by interacting with this asset, it's supposed to spawn the green glow. Right now, I don't have an idea of where the message connection is happening. So right now, the message interact.hand.3 goes out, and it's communicating with a health asset somewhere on my screen here. We've already checked pretty much every asset in the area. So I'm not going to worry about it if I can't find it. But that's something I do need to probably spend some time looking for then. Cool. All right, well, we're going to move on for now because I can't find it. Oh, the next step for us is to set up our green glow, but the opposite. So we're going to make the red glow appear when we're talking about heat spray or bug bite. So when either of these are selected, now we're going to be setting it up with frost toad. So that's the next step. Let's go ahead and pull out a red highlight, which I believe I made. our red highlight is going directly underneath of our toad. So we do need to raise the toad a bit. So this one is going to be our asset spawner version. So here I am adding a asset spawner behavior. So asset spawners will spawn anything that you allow it to. So basically any NFT or asset in your inventory, you can spawn. And I'm specifically using it for presets. So let's go ahead and make a preset real quick. For this preset, we can see I've Control D duplicated. So holding down Control D to duplicate this red highlight border. I'm going to remove any components or behaviors it might have. And then we're going to instead add a plant behavior. And for now, we'll keep it as kill. So this is the default message to destroy this asset. The big difference between a plant behavior and a health component, which you can also, kill, is that a health component will have an explosion. So a plant behavior instead will just kind of like disappear. So that's what we want. We have the plant behavior. I'm going to give this a red.glow, and this is on the left character. So I'm going to do 1. Second character will be 2. And then to wrap this up, I'm going to save it as a preset. So we're going to do create new. This will be red.glow.1. And the reason why I'm using periods is because that's what I tagged it, using periods. If you use spaces, that's fine. Just remember that you use spaces. Great, preset's ready. Now we can go back to our asset spawner and we'll use preset. So we'll toggle that. We'll edit the logic, and now we're going to add that new preset. And then finally, we're going to begin setting up the message to spawn it. Cool. Clip. I don't know how to clip that any better. All right, so we got our red glow. Now, what we need to do is make sure these tagged assets can trigger that spawning mechanism. So before, with our green glow, we can take another look at it. We can see it says ally.1.green.glow. So what I could do is I could have a message that says enemy.1.red.glow. And so the reason why I have it so expressive, as in there's literally 4 syllables, I guess you could say 4 portions to this message, is that allows me to understand it quicker, because I'll immediately read it and I'll be like, okay, enemy number 1, red, okay, and glow. And just having that in my back pocket will really help me when I'm kind of skimming through things, much like I was doing the last 5 minutes. However, we do want to start organizing a little bit better here. So as we saw with the green glow, I was missing a few things. So now we're going to do message red glow. So I'm going to start organizing this a little bit better. And trust me when I say I'm still improving. I'm still learning how to organize my stuff better. This is going to be what we assign any messages to. So I believe what I need to do is attach a series of messages to this message input. So we can see enemy.1.red.glow. So I'm going to go into this yellow little message here, and I'm going to add a message broadcaster. And that's the message we're going to be sending out. So that enemy1 red.glow. But it's not going to be sent out until we have a message input first. So it's kind of like a chain of events. And so that chain of events is going to be when we interact with these 2 cards. We had heat spray and we had bug bite. So both of these will trigger that red glow. However, the fun part here is I don't want it to trigger on this card, the 3rd card. So the red glow would go away. So in that case, we need to start filtering our messages. And so this is where things get a little bit complicated because all of these cards that I can interact with as a player, they have a kind of like a generic message associated with them, but now we need to filter them to where the game understands like, oh, the character picked a card that deals 1 attack. Oh, the character picked a card that deals 2 attack. Oh, the character picked a buff. And so this affects the Firefly. And so now we have to start kind of like filtering these as we make them. Let's go ahead and like explore making a filter. So if I were to make a filter for this card, it would need to read this tag. So I have to find a way to read this tag. Because the card itself is just sending out that generic message, as we saw, that allows me to interact with the card, or at least interact with my hand and my series of cards. What I'll do is, because these little number pads are already attached to my card, I can in turn set up a message broadcast that is able to send out a message exclusive to this card, this heat spray card. And so yes, there is going to be a lot of messages being output, but again, we also have, you know, a card game. So there is like a strategy involved. This is part of the game development. It's like we have to figure this stuff out. So a message being sent is going to be our damage message. And that's after we get the confirmation. So the damage itself will trigger from these cards on top of my enemy. So right now I'm just making the glow. So we just need to formalize these things in our mind. So we're going to send out to our red glow whenever we interact. This will be enemy .1.red.glow. So I think I can skip this one and instead use these cards. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. So I'm basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Optimizing. So I'm removing extra assets. So this is going to be exclusively talking to our red.glow. And this one's even more exclusively, more logical, is our red.glow asset spawner. I'm going to tag this. And then it's only happening when I'm interacting with the card that it is associated with. We saw was interact.hand.1. Cool, so that one's pretty much set up. We'll adjust the delay here. Cool. So the other problem that it looks like I solved in a previous episode, honestly, I'm going to start skimming through my Sandstorm VODs so I can like review. So this is the glow for the cards themselves. I gotta figure where the kill command is coming from. It's coming from these two. So I'm gonna duplicate these two and set them up next to the red glow. Basically, we have a kill command going out whenever we interact with other hands. If I interact with hand 3, we're sending a kill message to our red.glow 1. What? How did we get this? Instant death message was interact Hand.3. We'll just check our red glow real quick, make sure it has the correct tag. So tag allows me to communicate with it. So it's like I'm telling red.glow.1, hey, do this, do that thing. So then we have interact.hand.2, which will also send that kill command to our red.glow. And then again, just referencing our organization, we need to start organizing a little bit better. So this is going to be red.glow.1. This is kill from interact hand 2. I'm going to try parentheses. This might help or hinder me. Now, if I were to look in my hierarchy for red, these will both pop up. One specifically will also have red.glow.1/asset spawner. I usually go for AS or just simply spawner. This one I can delete. Cool. So let's go ahead and save it, and we can try it, see what happens. We can see right now it already has the red glow on it. So I think I have to disable the visibility on the asset spawner. Try it again. So interacting with these are supposed to send out that message. That message, I believe we sent it out here from enemy.1.red.glow. I need that to be talking to our asset spawner. Might not be within range. It's actually on the cusp here. So I'm going to up the range. And then it's when I'm interacting with it. So interact.hand.1, which we saw it comes from this card at interact.hand.1. So I believe it had something to do with the range. Let's find out. It did. Cool. So now I've got the red target selected. If I interact with it again, we want it to be destroyed, much like how this green one works. However, the green also is in the same boat, where if I continually interact with it, it's not destroying it. But when I interact with a different card, it does destroy it. So we want it to kind of follow that same mechanism. You know, it's a shame with these health components is I can't add multiple death messages. There's workarounds, but it would be convenient to have multiple messages kill an asset. But there are workarounds, so it's not a big deal. Like, for example, I could spawn damaging blocks. Let's see here. We need to find that glow. That glow comes from this. So the glow occurs whenever I spawn or whenever I interact with this card. So why is it only spawning one? Let's take another look. So interact, wait a few seconds, interact again. So I believe that one of these messages is killing it. And we're going to find our card glow 3, so we can just take a look at this. Great, so this has a plant behavior with multiple death messages. So interact.hand.3 kills it. Oh, I see. Okay, I understand. I get it. We need to do the same thing here where it's multiple messages will kill this. So interact caps locks, please. .hand.1. We can actually add all of them here. Then we also had an interact glow, which was exclusively killing it, which is good because we need that too. What does this one do? This one tells it to go away. So interact.hand.other, which also kills it. And then also end turn killed it, which is very helpful too. So end.turn. Anything else? I do need to copy this health component. This one here is when I interact dot and dot one. Will it reset? No. Yo, what's up? Shake and bake. Welcome in. How you doing? Interact.glow. Where's the interact glow message coming from? Oh, I'm interacting it with this asset, and it's also, I don't think I need this though. So right now, when I interact with this card, it's also going to kill the yellow glow, but my yellow glow is also interacting with itself and allowing it to be destroyed. Interesting. But yeah, we don't need that, I don't think. Doing well, just playing some Exodus and DCL, just listening. Well, we're glad you're here. If you have any questions about Sandbox, let me know. But yeah, there's a DCL contest going on right now, which I suppose I should mention that there are 2 contests. So let's take a quick look at them during the halftime show. So DCL users, those of you curious about Decentraland, there's a contest called New Year, New Me. So a lot has happened throughout 2022, and you are now a different person. With the new year coming up, you start looking for new ways to represent yourself, but how? So the objective is to develop wearable pieces that define you and truly make a statement. So you could choose between 2 wearable pieces or 1 skin wearable. The constraints is, keeping it low poly, making it game ready, up to 1,500 triangles per wearable, up to 500 triangles per accessory. So that's triangles are the faces. So if you're talking polygons, it's a face of a polygon. Usually polygons are edgy, and so less is more. No more than 2 textures at a resolution of 512 by 512 or lower per wearable. All textures must be square. So that's very common in the game industry, just having those square textures so that it can read from it. Honestly, this is a great foray into Decentraland and modeling in general. I might actually explore this. This looks fun. And it's worth mentioning, if you choose to make a skin, so, like a character or maybe like a guy in a suit, just a complete overhaul of a character, a skin wearable, the amount of triangles allowed are 5K, and you can have up to 5 textures. So skins, you can add more of. It's just, I guess, more convenient, I suppose. And then the prize pool, pretty big for Decentraland, 2,500 for first place. For second place, 1,250. This is all USDC. And then 750 for third, 350 for fourth, and 150 for fifth. So that's the Decentraland contest, if you guys would like to learn more about it. And then we also have our Sandbox contest. Let me just post those links. The first one I posted was Sandbox, and then here's the one we're looking at now. So here's the Sandbox contest. This is called Hold the Door. Hold the Door. So in this Sandbox contest, it's time for battle. Previously, we gathered the best blacksmiths of the clan to forge epic armors. Now it's time to use them in battle. So you are creating a fortress siege scene. My favorite visualization is think like Lord of the Rings. There's tons of orcs and goblins and evildoers approaching our castle, and they've got like a battering ram made out of scrap metal. And so you probably have the heroes, maybe like an archer from the top, or maybe like a dwarf ready behind the door, just ready to pounce. And so, yeah, making a cool fortress scene. So having animation and kind of like a visualization. Think like a theater stage. So you're looking at this theater stage, and you can see this set, this fortress in front of you. So max scene size 512 by 512 by 512 voxels. Minimum 8 seconds of animation time, so it doesn't need to be animated. The deadline is this Saturday, December 25th at midnight UTC. That's roughly 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Prize pool is 5,000 sand, 1,500 sand for first. Second place, 1,000 sand. Third place, 800 sand. Fourth place, 700. Fifth place, 500. And sixth or 10th, all 100 sand. So it's a great way to get started and, you know, test your mettle. Puns intended. Hey, Lord Can Wolf, what's up? Choosing a side is up to builders. Yeah, a side. Oh, I see what you're saying, Lord Can Wolf. So, like, you're either the good guys or the bad guys? So a little bit of both. Okay, so when I interact with any card, I want it to kill this asset. So we're going to go ahead and save this preset. I'm actually not going to worry about this one yet. I'm going to make it blank, so it's just a blank asset. And then this one, I'm going to resave my old preset. Red.glow.1. And now we're going to test that again. So whenever I interact with one of my cards in my hand, we have a red glow that appears above my toad. So if I deselect the card, you can see it also respawned a new one. So that's our new bug, I suppose. But if I select a different card, it will also remove it unless it too is an attack. So this one here, Bug Bite, will also be setting up the same thing. So that's why I left this little guy out. We're going to be making a health component that talks to it. So exclusively red.glow.1 needs to be killed if we talk to the interact hand .1. So when we talk to it a second time, it's basically going to send out that destruction message. I think that's correct. Let's see what happens. Right now, it's not receiving the message at all. So this health component is not being interacted with. So whenever I interact with my card, and this one in the first spot spits out this message, interact.hand.1. So I need that message to go back here, interact.hand.1, and it needs to send out that kill message. So we were just missing the kill text. So yeah, just to review what you're looking at for those of you that aren't familiar, which is, you know, these sessions are building an advanced card game in the sandbox. This is not something you will probably make your first time around. If you do, well, that's impressive. But to take a look at this, this is a health component. And what's nice about health components is when they die, they can trigger something else. So what's happening is when this asset is killed from whatever means, like I could run up to it and attack it if I wanted to, but instead it's being killed via another message. So whenever I'm interacting with that card in my hand, that first card, so hand.1, it's going to, after a 0-second death delay, send out another message. So it's kind of like a chain effect. Think like a domino. And it's going to send out a kill message to the red.glow.1. So we can see that in action here. It's probably going to instantly delete it. So we can see now, the way it's set up, is I interact with this card in front of me, and it spawns a red glow underneath the frog, and then the asset that we're currently tinkering with also is destroyed, then destroying that new red glow that is spawning. Oh, what up? Ice Pilot's here. How's it going, dude? Chilling. All right, so now that we have that set up, we need to figure out the same mechanic that we used for this. So we can see here, the blaze spikes has a yellow border underneath it. When I touch it again, it removes it. When I touch it again, brings it back. Touch it again, removes it. So we're going to be making that same mechanic with our red glow. So every time I touch it, it's interacting with these assets down here. They're invisible, but I have them, lined up. And so the main thing here is I'm interacting with this glow asset. And we can see here it's a secondary message. I have another one here that when I interact with it, it's spitting out this message, interact.hand.other. And then finally, the asset that's spawning my yellow glow is on this one, interact.hand.3. So this is always spawning every time I interact with it. And so that's the kicker here. I think we need to have a slight stagger on these. Oh, and I'm exclusively sending out that interact.hand.other message to these tags, which are not my yellow tag. My yellow tag has hand.3. This one's communicating with hand.1 and hand.2. This one's communicating with hand.3. So this is my glow, which is killing it. So what I can do is go back to these cards here. And I can set up the glow that is specific to this card to where I'm interacting with it. So interact.glow.1. So when I touch it, it's also going to be interacting with whatever glow is associated with it. So interact.glow.1 will kill this. So rather than interact.hand.1. So that should technically fix our problem. Find out. When I talk to this, we have a red glow. When I talk to it a second time, it kills it. Right now, you can see the yellow border underneath my first card, and you can see the red border underneath the target. And so now, with the last part of our session today, I'm going to set it up to where that red border will swap, if I'm on the right side of the screen, to this little character, this lychee. And then if I'm on this side of the screen, it instead switches to this character. That's going to be a little bit difficult, but let's go ahead and brainstorm it. How are we thinking? Well, first of all, I'm going to need to make the asset spawner over here. And we'll reorganize these a little bit, just move them out of the way. So this asset is going to be our redglow.2. So we can go ahead and work on that preset. So I have my red.glow.1. And now we're going to make this retagged. So red.glow.2. So this is the second red glow. And all of these are fine. So when I interact with a different card, it's fine. The other asset we need is this one here. Again, just trying to reorganize a little. I believe we also need these two smaller ones. So we're going to be saving this as a new preset. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do create new, red.glow.2. Yo. Also, I do want to preface next week's show. We're going to be looking at more basic and beginner-friendly mechanics. If you guys have questions, next week, next Monday, day after Christmas, please bring them. Like we'll answer anything and everything we can. Other than that, I'll be working on something a little bit more simplified. This is very advanced. So next Monday, we're doing very beginner friendly. So it's a much more intuitive space to walk into. Right now, somebody could walk in and be like, what the heck is happening? This is the Sandbox? I hate this Metaverse. But the card game, I'm going to continue in the background, like on my own time. I'm really enjoying it. There's a lot of advanced mechanics to work my way through. So it's like I don't understand immediately how to make something work. A lot of these sessions, especially here on Sandstorm, has been me like experimenting. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Cool. So we have our interact. We're going to be making a new one. So this one is for the same glow. So we're actually keeping this message as it's relative to the first card. So this glow.1 is relative to this card. And the difference now is we need to have these messages. So like when my character is on the left side of the screen and when my character is on the right side of the screen, both of these will trigger the same instance, but only on this side of the screen or this side of the screen. So this is going to get a little bit complicated. So tcg.write. That message needs to trigger our asset spawner. However, our asset spawner needs to have alternative ways to spawn. And it has to be triggered depending on where the character is currently standing. So I think this goes back to one of our very first sessions where we have a toggle behavior. So we can see here on the right side of my battlefield, the toggle behavior causes it to turn on because it's tcg.right. If I'm on the left side, it's turning it off, tcg.left. So what we'll do is we'll go to our toggle behavior and we're going to do the same thing. Initially, it's going to be off. But if I'm on the right side of the screen, it'll turn on. And if I'm on the left side of the screen, it'll turn off. We're going to be copying these over to the other one once we've figured it out. So if I'm taking a look at this red border, and we know now that it'll spawn, how do I change my target? That's the new question. So how do I go from interacting with the first card in my hand and it automatically selecting left? Now I want to select right. So what I need to do is change this tcg.right to also kill the glow and then also spawn the glow if I walk towards this character. Okay, simple enough. So first thing, I'll go to my old preset. It needs to now die whenever I go to the opposite side. And with our new preset, it'll do the opposite. So tcg.left. So when I walk to the left side of the battlefield, it'll also be removed. So now I also need to have the asset spawner trigger if I interact or walk into this space. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and add those same messages. I don't think this will work, but we're about to find out. This one here, I'm going to have as tcg right. And on the left, we're going to use tcg left. So basically a secondary way to spawn that asset. And we've already added the kill switch to where if we go to the opposite side, it'll kill it. So let's go ahead and resave our old presets. This one was red glow 1. And then on the opposite side, this is going to be our red glow too. We're just resaving the old presets. And fingers crossed, this will work. Right now, it had automatically spawned when I walked over to TCG left. When I walk over here, and perhaps when I walk back over here, it's going to spawn it again. So right now, the borders are not doing what I want them to do, but we can see it's at least responding appropriately. So what I could also do is have the kill message be the same thing. So TCG right. So basically, these will always die, no matter which section you're on. That way they can continually respawn. And we'll see how that might affect it. Another thing we needed to add was the toggle behavior to this one. So it'll be initially off, but turning it on would be tcg.left and tcg.right. So now I'm resaving these presets once again. Red.glow.1. And this one was red.glow.2. We'll test it. So I'm on the left, I'm on the right, back on the left. We can see it actually spawned the red glow, which is no bueno. But it's also not a bad thing. Like, having this red glow is not a bad thing. What do you guys think? Right now, it's like always on. But if I don't have a card selected, it's also always on. It's a little bit distracting, I think. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. The big difference, though, is if I have this on, we don't want the red glow. This one's a lot easier to do because it's a buff. Simply saying it'll only work on my one character that's using it. However, these attacks, we do want that red glow because it serves as a targeting. The next thing we'll be doing is setting up the asker behaviors to where I'm kind of like confirming, hey, I'm targeting the frost toad. But that's going to be it for our show. This is a pretty good spot to end in with our targeting system in place. Well, to start at least. It's not perfect, but neither am I. So thank you everybody for watching. We'll see if anybody's currently live in the sandbox to raid into. Nope, just me. I mean, we could raid Halfd0rk. I don't see why not. Let's do it. Oh, Panda's going live. Oh, Panda's on the sandbox. We should go to the sandbox official. I bet Halfd0rk will probably raid them too. Paul, thanks for dropping by. Go West. Thanks for hanging. See you later, Kay and Ice Pilot, Lord Canwolf, Shake and Bake, and Stefan. Thanks, everybody. Please do bring your questions next week. I would greatly enjoy helping instruct and, help the new generation of builders, with their introduction to the sandbox. So next week, we're going to be doing a lot more structured, beginner-friendly content. We'll probably be shelving, or at least not streaming, this trading card game. I'm still going to work on it in the background. But thanks, everybody, for watching.